Hello, everyone. I'm Martine Brisson. Welcome. So today I want to talk about something that somebody asked me to ask me to talk about difficult managers. Whether you feel overwhelmed, frustrated, um, or just plain stressed by somebody in authority. So I will just give some pointers of that can help you to navigate that difficult situation. First of all, seriously, just breathe. I know it seems strange, but just take a deep breath, because when we're dealing with a stressful, difficult manager, it's easy to get caught up in our emotions. But remember, we don't, the only person that we can control is ourselves. And when we have that feeling about that person, it's a bit like when the red engine light turn on in our car. It's only turning on in our car. It's not the fault of the other car that is beside me, in front of me, behind me. It's my own car. So, and we get caught up in our thinking about that bus. And it's nice to remember that everything goes through our own lenses. Our perception, now it goes to different goggles, and then we have a perception of the other person. And when we see that difficult manager approaching, we can't remember all the time that manager had the shitty behaviors or didn't talk properly and all those kind of things. And already you're in the defense. And it does influence all the interaction that you have with that person. I've been seeing clients for almost all my adult life in one shape of the other. And I can't count in the back of on one hand, no, maybe 2 or 3 times that there are some people that I didn't jive. They just couldn't connect. And it did have an impact of, oh, well, the situation, the session went. So our own perception of the other person does influence the interaction that we're going to have with the other person as well. And it's easy also to categorize people as easy to get along with and not easy to get along with. And it's our own mental construct, right? Like I said, everything is through our own perception. I know it's easy to find other people that agree with you. Oh yeah, that manager, I so hate him or her, and oh, you won't believe what he said yesterday, and oh, this and that. So it's easy to find other people that probably agree that is an asshole boss. But it's nice to be curious, because that person that you don't like, more than likely, that person has people that like him. More than likely, that person has a family. That more than likely, that person has a spouse, has friends that do appreciate his or her company. How about that? So it's nice to be curious about that. What are they saying that I'm not seeing? And also, sometimes those managers are between a rock and a hard place. They have pressure from above and have pressure from the back, from people below them. And they just full of insecurities and stress, and they just pass it along. Um, so it's not personal also. So maybe try to understand where they're coming from. And some people just don't know how to be a manager. I remember a few years ago, somebody was saying that her husband had the promotion. And after a while, he couldn't deal with the insecurity of being a manager and asked to go back down. Not too long ago, I had a client who was an acting manager, and she hated it. So she didn't even apply to get the job. She said, no, 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 that is not for me. And other people also don't know what being a manager means. I remember years ago, I had to hire a first line manager. There was two other people between me and that person. And we're interviewing people for that job. And there was one lady, she would have been good dictator material. Obviously, she didn't get the job, but for her, being a manager was being a dictator. So some people just don't know what manager is. But like I said, we don't know what's going on in that person. We don't know the pressure from above. We don't know what's going on at home either. So they bring their stress and their insecurity from home to the workplace. And again, it's not personal. I'm not trying to defend the manager, but sometimes it's just to be curious about what's going on with the other person as well. Could change the lens through which we can see the other person. And sometimes maybe if it's safe, communication could be the key. Say, do you mind having coffee? And says, I don't like when you do this and that. Maybe you can think about that, this and that, being diplomatic about it. So sometimes somebody just doesn't know they're being difficult. So if it's safe to do so, you can have a conversation. But you're allowed, if it's not safe, you're allowed to put boundaries as well. This way of talking to me, not on. So you're allowed to put boundaries as well. Keep it safe. And finally, when we're dealing with a difficult manager, and can be very, very, very draining at the end of the day. So just make sure that you recharge your own batteries. So when you're off work, do something that you enjoy. Do something that brings joy in your life, just to recharge your own batteries. So that's pretty much what I have to say. So just remember that we see things through our own lenses, and it's not personal. No, please don't take it personal. And maybe seeing the other person's point of view can help. Maybe you have a better relationship with that person. So that's all I have to say today. I'll catch you another time. Cheers.